Thank you everyone for attending our presentation this morning. We look forward to talking to you about our company and engaging with you on all the amazing offers that Royal Haskoning DHV has to offer. Next slide, please. Thank you. So a little about us. So Royal Haskoning DHV is an independent international engineering project and management consultancy, which sounds very fancy. Essentially, what we do is engineering and consultancy on a multidisciplinary level. So from civil to mechanical and everything else in between. We solve complex challenges being faced with businesses and societies all over the world. And we've been around for approximately 140 years, offering our engineering expertise and digital technologies and software solutions. And of course, as a lot of engineering companies should be, we are committed to leading the way in sustainable development and innovation. Next slide, please. If you look up Royal Haskoning DHV on the internet, you'll see that our ethos is enhance society together. And what it means is that whatever we aim to do, our mission, our purpose, our drive is to enhance society together through our people, expertise, partnerships, and innovations. How we do that, we combine our knowledge with our clients and strengths to co-create solutions that are designed to enhance the lives of communities around the world. We experiment with new ideas and invest in new technologies because I'm sure, as most of you know, the world is changing very rapidly with regards to our climate, with regards to our demographics and society. So it requires a constant evolution and growth, which we do, with the aim to make it even more impact in our clients for our society as a whole. Next slide, please. Where in the world are we stationed? So as I mentioned earlier, we're an international organization. So we have approximately 6,000 colleagues working on projects in approximately 150 countries around the world. And everyone is committed. Head office is in the Netherlands in Amersfoort, and our principal offices in South Africa. As you mentioned with my other colleagues, some are stationed in Johannesburg, in Umhlanga, in Cape Town, and all over the place. And we also have offices in the United Kingdom and Indonesia. Within South Africa, we have approximately 360 colleagues. Oh, and here it is, yes. And our offices, as I mentioned earlier, are based in Cape Town, Umhlanga, Pietermaritzburg, and George. Next slide. So our markets. So being a multidisciplinary engineering company, we focus on a variety of areas. As you can see here on the slide, aviation, buildings, energy, industry, infrastructure, maritime, data centers, rural and urban development, water. I myself sit in the water division and I focus on the resilience side of things. So over the years, our focus on the markets has changed with what is required, with our further understanding, with our growth and knowledge. So as you can see here, there's a space for everyone in order to not only sync their passions with what they do, but then also to have those passions positively affect those around them. Next slide, please. I don't think I need to tell any of you the importance of digital technologies and digital services. Today's world is changing faster than ever, and technology is accelerating. New digital technologies, customer demands, and major challenges like COVID-19 are constantly emerging and disrupting the way organizations must operate. To provide our clients with insights and agility they need, we are connecting digital capabilities to our domain knowledge to turn reactive decision-making into real-time predictive control. The launch of our digital business line in 2020 brings focus and strength to our commitment for clients across all markets we service. I will now hand over to Hani to talk about our people.
Thank you, Keketso. Next slide, please. This is the picture of our colleagues in the Johannesburg office. I think it was 2 years back. So yeah, our people. So at Royal Haskoning DHV, we do believe that people are the biggest attribute to our success. We do invest in our people to expand their skills and expertise to solve complex problems together with some of our best engineers, consultants, project managers, and specialists in their field. So in every person, we have identified a unique strength. Therefore, we do believe that every person in our organization has got potential to make a difference. Next slide, please. So like other companies, we do also have young people in the organization. However, we do believe that from the young ones, a company can go further. You know, the young ones are very energetic, like you guys are. You do know that you do like have like those brilliant ideas, and we believe that we do owe our success to our people. So we strive to nurture and develop young talent through the journey from graduation to registration as a professional engineer. We offer our young engineers access to the following opportunities. So once you join the organization, one will go through a formal and on-the-job training, where you are exposed to the real work, where you will be seeing how our projects are run and all that. A formal mentorship program. Others will be exposed to the challenging and complex project work, networking and knowledge sharing events we do have from time to time. Some of them you might find that we even schedule them during lunch, you know, where everyone will be joining in the meeting and we're sharing ideas. That can be throughout all the offices. Normally, we would have it for our Southern Africa business line, but then we do have other events where we share the knowledge with the group at large, our international colleagues, programs in-house. Next slide, please. HV journey. So, like I said, we do recognize young people in our organization, and we recognize them because years ago, someone came with an idea that let's organize a group of young people in the organization where they'll be meeting from time to time to share ideas and all that. And that's how we believe that we are standing out from other employers. So we have a group called YOUNG-RHDHV. So Young Royals, this is a platform, a network platform for over 20,000 professionals within our company. We don't limit to only engineers. It is all the young people in the organization up until the age of 35. So we do organize inspiring events to improve our networks and stimulate personal development. So this is where a group of young people will meet. We come up with ideas that will help us in our fields. Sometimes these are events that will help us to connect with our international colleagues, young colleagues from the Netherlands and other countries. Okay, so we do facilitate and exchange ideas and learning from each other. We are here for you as a young person. So that is our motto. We normally help each joins until when the person. We organize various events throughout the year, big and small, local and global. The nature of these events differs. Sorry? Okay, sorry. The nature of these events differs a lot. There is always something for each and every one of us. Like you've seen that we have various services that we are offering. We do focus on at least all to cater for everyone. So through many opportunities and positive impact on the young professional, young professionals can be vast and forever beneficial. Sorry, next page. Our bursary program. So I think the most important thing that we wanted to emphasize today, besides introducing ourselves to you guys, it is for you guys to be aware of our bursary program. So the Royal Haskoning DHV bursary program provides financial assistance to deserving students who wish to complete their undergraduate degrees in various disciplines of engineering or data science. First time after years, we've added data science to our offerings. Disciplines are civil, electrical, and mechanical engineering. Then the main criteria for consideration are academic performance and financial need. So I think we do push for academic excellence, but then again, one should also have financial need. Those will be our main criteria to choose the successful people that will be funding. Then the closing date for applications is 30 September. So for more information, please visit 2022 bursary program at royalhaskoningdhv.com. I will hand over to my colleague here.
Thank you, Hani. So I just want to talk about what we would actually expect as a consulting engineer. So I think Ketso has mentioned a brief history of what we do and the point of our company, but I think consulting engineers are basically the engineers that provide the expertise and the leadership in the planning, design, modification, or rehabilitation, or of the public and private sector, especially the infrastructure in those sectors. Most often, the consultant engineer is actually a licensed professional that practices in a whole range of disciplines, so civil, structural, mechanical, wet services, environmental, etc. And it's not a limited field in the sense that there's lots of engineers that work in the industry that come together to provide expertise on a specific design problem, and we create a solution. And I think the main thing is we are the catalysts in the problem resolution process. So we lead a lot of teams, so multidisciplinary teams on these challenging projects, large projects in my opinion. And we are the experts, and we advise local and national governments, private businesses, companies, and industry players as well. I think as well as we serve these public and private clients from the start of a project. So at the preliminary survey, analysis, concept, right up until the end of the project, where we go through the final design stages, construction, and handover to the project. Next slide, please. One thing I think a lot of people ask is, why should I become a consulting engineer? I think some of the reasons that I thought of as well was it's a very rewarding job, especially in the past year and a bit that I've been working for the company. I found it to be quite rewarding in the sense that you get to be a part of and contribute to such large projects that have a very positive impact on society, both socially and economically. You get to see how by adding a certain building or revamping a certain part of a building on a site operates, and that has a large downstream effect on how a company operates, especially, and you sometimes don't see it indirectly, but indirectly it makes a big impact. One thing I also like about it is very people orientated. As a consultant, you deal with many people from all walks of life each day, and especially in South Africa, where we have such a diverse process. Also, consulting engineer uses engineering to positively impact the lives of others. And whether that's indirectly or direct, it's a real blessing to see that sometimes. Myself as a young engineer as well, I've got to see the growth and development of engineers throughout the industry, especially in the consultant framework, where you start as a junior and you progress along to become a professional engineer. And most often the journey is quite focused and it's actually encouraged. As a junior engineer like myself, you often have a senior engineer who mentors you and guides you along the career path to become professionally registered, and they help you master your skill set. Next slide, please. I myself actually am a project engineer. So apart from obviously the typical design engineer, which a lot of my colleagues on the call are, a project engineer is actually an engineer who is responsible for managing the technical design and the design team on multidisciplinary projects. We often work with the project manager to successfully deliver the project from the inception stage right up until closeout. And it's a key role that we play in the project between management and the rest of the team. As the project engineer, I'm solely responsible for ensuring the quality and coordination of design outputs and design deliverables, ensuring they come out on time and they are compliant to project specifications and requirements. Myself as a project engineer, I often have to understand parts of design that I'm not particularly qualified in. So, for example, architectural, civil, structural, electrical, mechanical, electronic, etc. And I often have to liaise and delegate tasks and objectives throughout the project. I'll hand over to my colleague Tarini to discuss further.
Thanks, Mikhail. So in addition, sorry, next slide, please. Thank you. In addition to the job role my colleague Mikhail has just mentioned is the role of a consulting engineer. Myself, I'm a consulting design engineer. So a typical day of a consulting engineer firstly depends on the tasks and responsibilities of your role in the company. And secondly, on the phase of the project you're involved in. You can see the general phases are listed on the screen. Typically, our mornings would start with what we call stand-up meetings with our teams, followed by project progress and design meetings during the day. If you're part of the design office, you would typically work on your respective disciplines design. This involves reading up on standards applicable. For example, South Africa has the South African national standards for South African projects. We would also perform calculations, designing and modeling in software such as Autodesk Revit, and ultimately produce design drawings and relevant documentation to meet project deadlines. Design work for multidisciplinary projects often requires coordination across disciplines to ensure cohesiveness when delivering a project from inception to construction. When projects are in the construction phase, site visits are common to meet with contractors on site to conduct inspections, quality control, payment valuation claims, and resolve technical issues on site. Next slide, please. Types of projects that YOUNG-RHDHV work on include large EPCM projects across multiple industries ranging from 50 million Rand to 3 billion Rand in value. We are involved in projects worldwide encompassing various building types, some of which include hospitals, office buildings, warehouses, airport substations, and data centers. For example, as seen in the picture below, data center projects in South Africa and across Europe involve large multidisciplinary teams over many months of work. Unfortunately, there's not enough time to discuss every type of project, but the benefit of having the exposure to various projects is that all come with different client requirements, challenges, and most importantly, the room for the abundant gain of knowledge and skills to further your career. I hope we've been able to give you a better understanding into what engineering consulting firms do, and in particular YOUNG-RHDHV. I'll now hand over to Karen for more information on how to contact us. Thank you.
All right, well, everyone, thanks so much for listening to our presentation this morning. To find out more about our company, please go onto our website, royalhaskoning.dhv.com. I've also typed up the website details for both our local and our global websites in the chat box, and Honey has shared the link for the careers website in the chat box as well. If you've got queries that are particularly related to our bursary program, please send us an email at bursaries@rhdhv.com. In addition to our website, you can also find information about our company on various platforms, particularly LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And all of the, as you can see, all the contact details are on the screen.